How are we doing, guys? And welcome to another very special All Leeds TV live stream. We've got a very, very special guest who I'm sure you will all recognise from a very famous video from a certain couple of weeks ago. Nacho Z, who we will provide plenty of links for down below to his channel, has very kindly joined us here. And Nacho, how are you doing, my friend?
Well, hello, guys. That was a really nice introduction. So thank you. I think I'm famous in Leeds now, but yeah, I'm really, really well, guys. So thank you for inviting me, and hope you're okay as well.
Thank you, man.
So I guess obviously Joe Wayman, Danny join us again as well. You guys doing good too?
Go on, Danny.
Yeah. Bueno.
Here we go.
Estoy bien.
I can't follow that up. I don't speak any at all. But really excited to have Nacho on tonight. I watched his video and yeah, it was beautiful and a very lucky man as well. I was a little bit envious, but it was yeah, it was an amazing video, really good content. So guys, we will, put up his links and stuff because it's some really good stuff. He even did a tour of Leeds, just the city itself. So that was good as well. So make sure you check that out, guys.
Cheers.
So I guess, Nacho, first thing we want to ask about is the video. Where obviously when you set off to Leeds, your intention was just to see the celebrations. I don't think realistically expected to get into the ground.
No, really. I wasn't even sure about going to Leeds at all because, I'm working here like part-time, so it kind of depended on the rota as well. So I said, shall I go to Leeds? I mean, it was the last game. You were already promoted. I mean, there's nothing you were playing for, and then no people in the stadium, of course. So I was thinking, is it worth going up there? It was going to cost me like, with accommodation and everything, like around £100, with train and everything. And I don't know if people were gonna just get together to celebrate and everything, which they did at the end. But I just said, yeah, let's do it, because my followers, they insisted me, like, yeah, go. I mean, it was easy for them because they just needed to press a couple of keys and that was it. But I just said, okay, let's go. There's nothing I can lose. Worst case scenario, I just visit a new city and that's it. And I just went up there, as you said, just to be with the fans, to see the city, to speak to people if I could, to see how Bielsa and the team had changed the city. But yeah, it ended up being an adventure, of course. I mean, it was one of my happiest days in football, as I said in the video. Yeah, definitely.
So just on that, Nacho, I was I was undecided whether or not to go to Leeds that night, and I didn't go. So it was that's one of the things, right? You did it, and what an experience, man! Amazing.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've been telling me that the celebrations the days before were much bigger. So I guess if you were there those days, maybe you didn't miss.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's cool. Yeah, but as you said, it's just a decision, and there was the whole video about making decisions as well, about football in this case, but in life in general, just go for it, try. Otherwise, you will regret it for the rest of your life. So yeah, that was one of the messages. Yeah.
So you headed up to the ground, presumably, just before the game. I mean, how exactly did you manage to, especially like the circumstances going on at the moment, there's no one in the stadium, how exactly did it all come together as such? I mean, we didn't see a lot.
I can't really tell you who did the favor for me, but so basically a follower, they texted me on Instagram saying, hey, Nacho, you're in Leeds. I hope you like the city, etc., etc. And they could give me access to the stadium. We need to try. We need to do a couple of things, but at the end we could. So at that moment, of course, I was really excited because I was gonna watch the game. I had no idea at that moment I was gonna end up celebrating with the players and with Marcelo. But then I said, okay, fantastic, I'm gonna watch the game. But then I said, oh no, my whole idea of the video with the fans and that was destroyed. I need to come up with something different. So I was both happy and not sad, but thinking what I was going to do next. But I was really happy, of course. But I can't really tell you how. But I think it's someone inside the club that they did me a huge favor, which I'm really thankful for. And yeah, we got in. Some people were worried about the social distance and all the stuff. Just everybody was tested and they checked our temperature, all of us. So everything was all right. And then again, we were watching the game in the box, and even the people there, they didn't know what was going to happen. They had no idea we were going to go to the restaurant and celebrate with the players and all that. So they were kind of surprised as well. So was I, of course. And again, sorry, I can't really tell you how, but it was all legal and all right. And I just got there, and it was amazing. Yeah.
Hopefully, Oscar, whoever got Nacho in is watching, and if so, contact me.
No, but these people were really, I mean, and I said it in the video as well, they were really good people, really, really generous. And that talks also about the atmosphere that's in the club right now. The same with Bielsa. I mean, I don't know him myself as a person, but he seems to be a really good person, really good guy. So as well as his assistants and all the people working there, and that's the most important thing. People that are now in the Premier League and they've been in a World Cup as well. They're really down to earth, and that's amazing. That's the most important thing for me here.
I mean, I don't know about you, Danny, but I'm only slightly jealous at this minute in time that I'm only slightly jealous. I'm sorry, Nacho.
No, it's fine. That's fine. I understand. I understand.
You can't see the envy that I'm trying to hide it as much as I can. But I'm interested to know, did you know much about Leeds before you came up? Obviously, you knew that Bielsa was here.
I mean,
in the best team in England.
To be honest, well, in Argentina, we do watch the Premier League, but it's not like in other countries where the Premier League is the most important league. In Argentina, our league is the most important one. So first we follow our teams, and then we might follow one in Spain or in the UK, but it's not. I mean, our team in Argentina is going to be the biggest team ever. It's our first team, of course. And then we might follow other team, not as a fan, but just as a follower. We like the way they play, and that's it. So Leeds, they were in the Premier League for a couple of years, and we didn't really watch the championship there because it wasn't on TV. You need to be a really crazy fan to go online, find a weird website, and just be able to watch the game. So when Bielsa went there, okay, the club became a bit more popular, but I didn't really watch the games because that was when I first came to the UK. So I was in this whole process of moving to another country, finding a job, accommodation, blah, blah, blah. So I was really into that and starting my YouTube channel and all the stuff. So I didn't really watch football at all during those months. But last year I went to watch, it was Leeds QPR, I think, in London. I think you lost, guys, 1-0, I think. That was the previous season, not the last one, but the previous one.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, let's go watch Leeds because Bielsa is there. And I think he was like, 20, 30 yards of me. So that was cool. I just saw him, shouted at him, didn't reply, but anyway, that was nice. So yeah, we always knew that Bielsa was there, but I mean, I want to talk about for everyone, but at least me, I didn't really watch the Leeds games. Yes, in the last matches last season and this season, of course. But the championship is a really long tournament that you can watch one game, two, but you don't really know what's going on unless you're a really good fan or journalist or you really like it, because just so many games, so many teams, plus the Premier League, plus Spain football, plus Argentinian football, and all that. So yeah, that's all I knew about Leeds. Yeah.
I mean, on the day, obviously, it's condensed into a third 12 minutes 58. How on earth did you condense it into 12 minutes? Was there anything on camera that didn't quite make it into the final cut on your YouTube video from the day?
What do you mean? When I met him, or what was the question?
Was there anything that you filmed on the day that you didn't put on the video in the end?
Oh, no, not really. I mean, my whole idea was to make like 3 or 4 videos So in one of the videos, I talked to a guy, a pub owner, and it was a little interview that was meant to be a whole video, but I didn't have enough material for that. So I said, okay, let's put that into other videos. So my idea was to make like 4 videos. I ended up with 2. But anyway, I'm really happy, so I can't really complain. But everything was there. Everything was there. So there's nothing.
The pub owner. We've been to that pub, Hope Inn, and we did an interview with Manchester City channel there about Jack Harrison, and the pub itself. It's really cool, right? Like all the pictures on the wall and stuff.
It's not huge, but it's not really small. So it's like perfect atmosphere, I would say, during a game. I don't know, because there wasn't a game on when I was there, but I would think so. And I want to really say thank you to that man and to everyone in Leeds. The people I talked to earlier, the people that got in touch with me, the pub owner, everyone was really, really, really kind and really, really helpful with me. I felt really comfortable in Leeds with everyone, not only with these people, but everyone was helping me. Even this man, then after the conversation, the interview, he gave me a lift to the stadium. That was really kind of him as well. So I felt really comfortable there. Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, Nacho, obviously, if you, obviously, I'm sure you don't mind us mentioning, but you're actually a River Plate fan. Why is there so much? I have a rough idea, but why is there so much love for Marcelo Bielsa in Argentina, despite him managing one of your rival teams?
Yeah.
Why is there so much love for him?
Well, of course, Rosario Central, which is the rival of Newell's, they don't like Bielsa at all. That's for sure. But then in the rest of the country, you have this division. You know, people love him because of the way the teams play, which is great, of course. We can agree on that. But some people hate him because he hasn't won anything apart from this league with Leeds and I think the Olympics with Argentina, and a couple of tournaments with Newell's. So with the national team, for example, in 2002 World Cup, they lost in the group stage. It was quite bad for Argentina. We were favorites. So people have this discussion, you know, their teams play really well, but he hasn't won anything. The same with Messi. For example, Messi, the best player in the world, the second, third best player in the world, whatever. He's been amazing with the national team, but he hasn't actually won the World Cup. So people love him or hate him. You have these two big teams. And the same with Bielsa, even though I think that in football, you know, luck is so important. So maybe the ball goes in or hits the post or whatever, that changed a lot of things. But you can see the way he made Bilbao play or Leeds. Fans were telling me, we have the same players, and 3 years ago we were playing really bad, and now we're playing totally different football, you know? So for myself, that's really important. But yeah, people love him or hate it because of the same reason. and I think people also like him, including myself, because of the values he gives to the game. You know how important being honest and fair play is for him and his teams and all that thing, or the way he talks is not a philosopher, but almost. So I really like that part of him as well. And he's a really good manager, of course. We can't deny that. We can't deny that. But that's the reason. They love him because the way their teams play, or they hate him because he hasn't won anything. That's basically it.
I mean, I was reading a lot about Marcelo's time as Argentinian manager. I just find it fascinating how he went from hero to zero and then back to hero again. It's almost like a superhero kind of movie somehow. When you read it, his book recently, I mean, going on to the 2002 World Cup, I think you mentioned a lot about luck wasn't on their side. Obviously, we had a famous game against England. I think it's Sapporo, I think it was, in Japan. I think it was, might be wrong on that. A very famous Michael Owen dive over Mauricio Pochettino. I mean, how old were you around that time? I mean, do you remember that World Cup?
No, I don't. I was born in 1996, so I was 6. So I don't really remember. But then I studied sport journalism, so I had to kind of study all that time at the national team with Bielsa. So basically, during the I don't know how qualification for the World Cup, we were the best team in South America. We just won not every game, but we played really great football. We were the favorites for the World Cup. That's what the magazines and the internet says, and not me. But we got there and basically just 3 bad matches and that's it. You're out. It's football. That even Guardiola he said that if you win, the best team wins the league, not the Champions League. That's what he used to say because it's a longer tournament. In the Champions League, one bad game or 2 bad games, you're out. I think that happened to him, but again, I didn't really watch the games, so I can really say what happened there. But yeah, people hate him because of that. That's one of the main reasons, I would say. The same with the national team. Between 2014 and 2016, we got into 3 finals, World Cup and 2 American Cups, and we lost 3 of them. And people say the team, they are losers because they lost 3 finals. Whereas I think that they're a really good team because they got into 3 finals. That's what you have in Argentina. Those 2 really, I don't know how to call it, but people are really, or you love it or you hate it.
Yeah. So I guess the result matters more than anything, right? And I think with Bielsa, sometimes that comes secondary to how we play. Do you know what I mean? I think in Bielsa's mind, of course he wants to win the games, but
of course.
He would never change his philosophy to suit an opponent as such, because ultimately it's plan A, and if that's not working, plan A, but better, never change. And he
says that football, the most important thing about football is to give the fans something to entertain them with. It's a show at the end of the day, and he said once as well that winning is an exception. Only one wins. The other, in this case, 23 teams, they lose. So if you win, it's an exception. You have to be surprised if you win, not if you lose. So yeah.
I mean, we recently, over both Bielsa seasons, we had a documentary put together about the football club. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, Nacho, but what the documentary really hammers in the first...
The Amazon one.
Yes, that's right.
I watched it, yeah.
It talks a lot about Bielsa's beliefs about football more than anything, and how... Because my understanding of it is that Bielsa is very much divides opinion in Argentina. Your football purists, to an extent, who just love to watch good football, he's an idol. Your football more results-based mentality, he's a villain. I mean, I think you've pretty much touched on it yourself. I mean, is Bielsa someone in the future made for Argentina? Obviously, it's been a tough couple of years for Argentinian football. The last World Cup was a disaster to an extent. Do you ever see Bielsa one day going back to the national team and being welcomed back to the national team to maybe have one last try at winning the World Cup?
I don't know. Argentina, you can't really talk about what's going to happen, not tomorrow, but today in Argentina. So that would be taking a lot of risk, saying something like that. I would say he would want to go back to Newell's Old Boys. Yeah, for sure. That's his home, definitely. But the national team depends on what happens in the next couple of years. Because I think if we get to another final, because we've had these managers in the last couple of years which kind of follow his philosophy in which if the way you play is not more important, but of course it's really important the way you play much more than the results maybe. Of course you want to win the World Cup, but they were kind of his philosophy. Also, Sampaoli, I don't know if you know him. He managed the Chilean national team after him, so he was kind of his mentor. So yeah, we've been having this kind of managers, and they've not failed, but they haven't succeeded. They haven't won the World Cup. So people are kind of tired or fed up with them. So I would say no in the near future, like next couple of years. But who knows what's going to happen in 10 years or so if he's still working But I can't really give you an answer. So unpredictable.
Do you know? Sorry, Oscar. I just quickly jump in. Obviously, that night that you were there on the trophy night, I want to bring it back. Obviously, you had the opportunity to, and I want to ask you about being with the players afterwards as they were taking pictures with the trophy, but first of all, I guess how was it to meet Bielsa? I know on the video you weren't allowed to record it; you just took a picture. But what was it like? Did you have a conversation, or how did that go when you actually met? For me, like
more of a conversation, I would say. Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you, but But well, when I met him, I didn't know I was gonna meet him. I just was a corridor. He just happened to be there. I don't know. So I said, "Hello, I'm from Argentina, and thank you. I mean, congratulations, first of all."
I think we're losing it. 1 second, Nacho.
Hello.
Are you still there? Have we lost you?
I think that's.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think there's a slight lag. That's all. I'll let you. Yeah, are you still there?
I think that's. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I didn't know I was gonna meet him. So he was a corridor, and he just happened to be there. So I said, "Okay, hello, I'm from Argentina. Congratulations." And he was smiling, and he was not in a hurry, but then people told me that he just wanted to go home, rest, and go to sleep. So no party for him, no celebration after the game, and that was it. So I think he wanted to go home, to be honest. And then I asked for a pic, and he said yes, of course. But and then I said, "Thank you for all the value you bring to the game." That's what I wanted to thank him for, because of bringing good manners and respect to the game. That was the most important thing to me, for someone being in the top of football, Premier League, and still not being a good person, but talking so nicely about football. For me, that's really important. So I said, "Thank you for that, and can we take a pic?" He said, "Of course," but he never talked, not even a word. He was just smiling like that, and he just we shook hands, and he left. That was it. He never talked to me. I don't blame him, of course. He was in a hurry or whatever. I was just me, okay, who are you? But anyway, I just said what I had to say to him, and that was it. But yeah, it was a surprise, and I was really happy, really happy. And just something funny or peculiar. I was with a lot of people and a lot of families and kids as well, so really little children, and he would go through every one of them, saying, "Hello, I don't know, how are you, Sophie? How are you, James? How are you, Emma? How are you?" He knew the name of everyone, all the children, all the family. So he's really a good guy, and he's really into every single detail, But he didn't say anything to me. But anyway, it is what it is.
I mean,
on that. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, Danny, it's no surprise hearing that about Bielsa, is it? It's absolutely no surprise.
Yeah.
No, it's very Bielsa-like. How we I imagine him just floating through the corridor, hello to everyone, not even touching the floor. Someone's behind him, holding him like that, just pushing him down the corridor, like the god he is. That's it. That same night, I noticed on the footage when watching the video, you managed to see our fan base, or some of them. What was your first impressions of that? And also, we know you're a Leeds fan now. We know that your team in England is predominantly Leeds now. So,
yeah, of course, yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I didn't know if people were gonna just get around there and celebrate. So when we started walking through the corridors, I just could hear the woof, 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 woof. I mean, I'm kind of used to it because of my team in Argentina. I used to go to the stadium a lot, but in this case, first I said, okay. People were warned not to go to the stadium. Of course, that they would listen, but anyway. Then it's not a small club, of course, by second division. So, okay, what's going to happen now? But it was the last game, so they've been already promoted. But then I was thinking, of course, despite all of that, they were still there, and there were a lot of fans, and that was crazy. That was crazy. I mean, the sound was like bounding everywhere, and they weren't even inside the stadium; they were just on the streets. It was crazy. We only spent, I would say, 1 or 2 minutes there, because then we headed to the restaurant. But it was crazy. And when I was talking to people there, they were telling me that during matches, not now, of course, but in normal circumstances, it was crazy. It was crazy. And a lot of the people there are from Argentina, of course. And they were telling me that even though we had really good crowds of fans in Argentina, that was shocking. The Leeds crowd, the Leeds fans, and apparently they've been also telling me that a lot of the other clubs they kind of envy the Leeds fans because of the way they are, the chants and how they celebrate. So that was really shocking for me and surprising in a good way, of course.
Yeah, definitely. And Nacho, sorry, yeah. So you talk about going to the restaurant. And I assume you were with the players at the restaurant. Did you get to interact with any of them? How was the atmosphere there?
It was really familiar. I mean, it was a really nice atmosphere, but I didn't really want to talk with them because first of all, they didn't know me. It was really familiar environment. And I didn't want to interrupt their celebration, and they were having fun. They were just really tired after a really long season or 2 seasons. So I just said, no, don't bother them. Let them celebrate, be with their family. Even with the assistant managers and everyone just wanted to be there, enjoying the view, which was really nice. And just I didn't want to bother anyone. I was really thankful. I was just like a little kid, being invited to a party or something, just standing there and watching and saying, okay, this is amazing. But no, I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't want to.
I've just got a quick follow-up question. We all want to know, did Alioski behave himself? Because honestly,
I saw him once, I think, at the beginning, and then he just disappeared, I think. But anyway, it was like little, inside the room, there were like little, not squares, but divisions, so you couldn't really see what's going on in the other one. So in ours, we had like 4 or 5 tables, and that was it. So I don't know where he was, to be honest, but I don't want to say he did something he didn't. So
it will probably above you on the ceiling, crawling about. That's how mad he is. That's how mad.
I didn't see anything.
Do you know one of our under-23s players has moved on loan to Scotland, and he did a piece in the paper the other day, and he spoke about, obviously, when Bielsa first came, he had them picking litter. So they knew what it was like to earn a wage to come to the games. And it turns out he also had them reading in silence for 30 minutes every day. And they had to read something. Do you know anything about like any other little nuances or anything like that about Bielsa over in Argentina? Has he done something similar before, or?
I'm sure he has, but I don't recall any of those now. Let me think. Give me a couple of secs. I can't really recall anyone. But I'm sure he has. He has definitely. But I'm sorry, I can't really tell you any story now. But I'm sorry, I have to disappoint you. But I'm sure he has. That's why his nickname is El Loco.
Yeah,
he definitely has. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, as Leeds fans, we think he's God. We love him absolutely. If it were up to me, I'd have his face tattooed here. But it is up to me. But I'd be single. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
So just the fact that he's got Alioski of all people to sit down and read quietly for 30 minutes is quite telling. I mean, I honestly, if he can do that, he can do anything. Do you know what I mean? I mean, would you take him at River Plate? Being a River Plate fan, would you like him as a manager?
I would definitely, because I mean, I shouldn't be saying this, but we were kind of related to his kind of game, of style of playing. Good football, if you want to call it that way, like passing, possession. always wanting to win and everything. So yeah, I would definitely, no doubt about it. Not now, because our coach has been there for like 5 or 6 years, and he's really an idol in the club. We love him. So not now, but in the future, yeah, I would definitely.
I mean, Nacho, there was one big drama in Bielsa's first season last year, which I'm sure you'll be aware of, called Spygate, which
I have
a massive stir in England. But what I noticed a lot at the time was in Argentina, the reaction was like, what's all the fuss about this happening? This is a normal, practice in Argentina. I mean, what was your feelings on that? Do you think it was a massive reaction?
I wouldn't say it's a normal thing we do in Argentina, to be honest. What I would say is that some of the trainings, the pitch is covered with I don't know, it's like some kind of fabric or material or whatever, so you can see what's going on inside. So my first reaction was, wow, he shouldn't be doing that. Like, Bielsa, you're disappointing me. But then, in a way, the way he convinced everyone he was doing the right thing was, okay, he's doing the right thing. But my first feeling, and deep inside, I know he was doing something not really wrong, but kind of wrong, but he says everything in a really good way. Like, he was just watching training, and that was it. The gate was open and just went in, just walked in. But I think he was doing something wrong. Not terrible, but wrong. But anyway. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the media in this...
What do you think about this?
I mean, to be fair...
Did nothing wrong. Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
The thing is, it's one of those, I think, worst things happen in football. I mean, it's...
of course, definitely.
I think the fact is, if he'd carried on doing that after everything had happened, you probably wouldn't have had any defence of him. But no, to be fair, I mean, we just play off that now, really. We play off that.
Yeah, the way he convinces everyone, it's just, okay, he's a nice guy. Yeah. I mean, I understand.
There's a reason why other fans chant "We all hate Leeds," and that's just another string to our bow. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's just one of them things. If Bielsa did it all over the world, I think it's just like in the media in this country, I've just blew it out of proportion massively.
Yeah.
Do you know what was it like? Obviously, we know how much he's revered at Newell's, but I mean, you did it on one of your videos. He's got Marcelo Bielsa away now in Leeds. Like, it's what he's done for the city, not just for the football club. But for the city, for us as people, people say he's not only made us better people. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean. And I think he was only able to make that there because, for example, in Newell's, you have two big teams in Rosario, which is the city where he was born. You have two big clubs. So, okay, the half of the city was really happy. The other half was kind of not angry, but they weren't really happy with that. Then... Well, Bilbao, maybe the same happens in Bilbao because there's only one big team in the city. But let's say he'd gone to, I don't know, Manchester or Liverpool. Maybe that wouldn't have happened, because the city was divided. So in Leeds, the whole city is following one team. And I think the effect he makes in every city was like double now because of this factor. Yeah.
I mean...
Sorry, Oscar, go on. I was just about to touch on that where he says, like, we're talking about Bielsa and just like, I don't know, like for the past 2 years, this journey we've been on with Bielsa, he's not just turned the football club around, he's turned the city around as well. And people have, like myself included, just fallen in love with football again, just his style of football. Just how fluid it is, you know what I mean? It's beautiful, and that's what Leeds fans want. And but before that, I don't know if you know our history that well, but it was just a lot of. It's probably better not to go into that, but that's what Bielsa has brought to this. I was just going to say that.
No, and I agree, and the same to non-Leeds fan. We like watching Leeds games, because of the football you play. So that's really important. And again, it makes you. I mean, you enjoy winning, of course, but you enjoy winning in that way because you go to the stadium. I used to happen with my team when we had really good years for the last 2 or 3 years. We we would go to the stadium to know we were gonna win in most of the cases, but in a nice way. We were gonna enjoy it. Otherwise, we'll go to suffer, you know. But in this case, we would enjoy it, the show. We will enjoy the show. Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I will ever see better football from my team in the flesh ever again. Like some of the moments that I have seen at Ellen Road, it's literally like, what am I like to my friend? What's going on? You know, like the first game, I will never forget it against Stoke. Never. And I remember thinking, what has this man done to my football team? Like, genuinely, it is just amazing. And I don't even want to think about the day when he moved on. I think maybe we get one more this season, and then he may, depending on if we get Europe, maybe he stays. But that's a big task. But he's just amazing, man. I love him so much.
Yeah.
It's worth pointing out as well. Just worth pointing out that the first season that he played, we had, what was it? Douglas in that squad that was different from the previous season.
Yeah.
So he's literally just waved his hands and just come out with these, Bielsa babes and just absolutely, just changed the way of our football compared to who fit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and all of his teams, maybe they don't win leagues or tournaments, but they all play in a really nice way. So that means he's a really good manager, of course. I mean, wherever he goes, whatever player he's managing, they play well. So that means something, I think.
I mean, Nacho, just to talk about obviously your team, River Plate. I mean, obviously transfer rumours are transfer rumours, but we have been linked with one of your players, to be fair, centre-half, Lucas Martinez Quata. I mean, can you tell us anything about him? Would he suit the Premier League? How good would you be gutted to see him leave River Plate?
I mean, we really love him at River Plate. He's a really good defender. He's really young, 22, 23, I don't really remember now, but something like that. He's been playing for us for 3 years or so. He's from the youth team, so he's one of ours. He's really nice, really good technique, a really good defender. I'm not an expert when it comes to tactics and everything, but he's all right. He's all right. He's been playing for 2 years or so now in the first team, like every game from the start. So that's good. I think he has a lot of potential. But then again, what happens with the Argentinian football is really not as good as the European, of course. So whenever a player goes to Europe, maybe they're just not as good as they were because differences between quality. So it's really hard to tell whether a player is going to suit the Premier League or not. I would like to say yes because of the kind of defender Bielsa likes. So maybe that's a match, I would say. That's a match. But I would really enjoy him playing in the Premier League. I mean, I would like him to stay, of course, but we are really used to European clubs just taking players because they have money. So that's our sad truth. But anyway, I'm confident. I'm positive about it. Yeah, I'm optimistic. I would say he has the potential. Again, I'm not an expert in football, but I would say so. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Would your same friend be able to get him in to Ellen Road like he did you?
maybe. Why not? It's worth trying, yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen a few people mention it in the comments as well. Senesai, is that how you pronounce it? The guy at Feyenoord, Argentinian. Do you know much about him?
Feyenoord. Senesai. No.
Senesai, is it? Or...
Senesi, is it?
Senesi, sorry, pronunciation's
no, it's
not...
fine. How do you spell it?
Give me 1 second.
Senesi.
I don't know him, to be honest. But Senesa, no.
No, it's look.
Yeah.
No?
Senesi, I'm reading it now. No, I don't know him. I don't know him, to be honest.
Maybe he doesn't play in the national side. What about? Do you know much about Tiago Almeida?
Tiago Almeida, yeah. He's a nice guy. But again, you know what happens with these players? They are really young and they're really I mean, the scouts, they are really the people capable of saying, okay, this guy is going to suit this league. There's been a lot of Argentinian or South American players going to England or Spain or wherever, and they just can't. I mean, it's so different football. And again, it depends if you go to Spain or England, where the football is different, or depends on the team you're playing in as well, how they play, if they're having a good season or a bad season. Or with this now, maybe you're aiming to get to Europe, but maybe you then are fighting not to get relegated. So you don't really know what's going to happen. Also, the pressure and all this. I mean, I want to think that if a club buys a player, it's because they think he's going to suit. But then again, football, it's not science, so anything can happen.
I mean, another one linked as well is Nicolas Gonzalez playing at Stuttgart at the minute. I mean, do you know much about him either?
Not really. I know him, but I don't really follow Stuttgart. So no, not really.
Cool.
Not
If
really.
you were Leeds United head scout, is there a particular player that you'd like to bring into Leeds United?
In which position?
Whichever you want.
Whichever I want. I used to like, I don't know if you know him, Kraneviter. He used to play for my team as well. He's now 24, 25, I would say. He's playing at Zenit in Russia. He played for the national team a lot of times for the American Cup. He plays like a center fielder, like defensive. I really like him. But I don't know why he just went to Russia and everything started to go down. I mean, he was not a disaster, but almost for a year or two in Russia. But for my team, he was amazing. And we were playing the kind of football Leeds play, like pressure, possession, attacking, that kind of football. We were the best team in the continent for 2 years, I would say, with him in the team. And he was one of the stars. So if you want to just write it down, Kraneviter, and then tell it to Marcelo or whatever, maybe he want to.
I mean, you say, to be fair, I mean, do you play FIFA at all, Nacho? FIFA?
No, I used to.
I've signed him once or twice, to be fair, Kraneviter, to be fair. But I remember were Everton linked with him a couple of times? In England?
Edison, yeah.
No, Everton, they in England.
Everton. Yeah,
they've been linked to him a few times, I seem to remember.
Who was it?
With
the team?
Yeah.
With Kraneviter, but I mean, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Really, I mean, obviously, Argentinian football is undergoing a very big kind of like transformation since the World Cup. But I mean, just to talk about, obviously, you've been a River Plate fan. I mean, how would it compare, you say, an Argentinian football crowd to an English crowd? Having seen a couple of games in England, in terms of passion, how would it compare?
Oh, I can't really talk about passion because you can't measure it, But I would. I'm sorry, guys. I really like the Argentinian crowd because of I think the chants are better in a way because of the lyrics. They're longer and more about passion and blood and all that stuff. But again, I'm not really. One of the ideas for my channel was to compare these crowds and chants in Argentina and the UK. So that's one of my plans for the future. But even though I have this thought about English crowds, which is good, don't get me wrong, I've been told that in Leeds this is much better. This is one of it's like 2 or 3 times better than the regular crowd in England. I think that's one of the main differences, the chant. And then in Argentina we still have hooligans, which is bad, of course. I really hate it. Unfortunately, it's so sad to say this, but it is what it is, and I can't lie. And then I would say that apart from that, it's more or less the same. Football is the main sport, of course. You're sad when you lose. You're happy when you win, and it's the whole culture or religion around football. We just get together. You go to the pub. We don't, because we watch football at home or in the stadium. But yeah, this whole idea of getting together and celebrating, which is everywhere in the world, you know. But the idea that everyone plays football, I can go out now and just join a football game because someone's going to be playing in the park or whatever. That's really similar. Of course, yeah, that's really similar.
Do you know, obviously, when you were at the game at the night, I don't know if you managed to take a lot of it in. Obviously, you were doing the video, and obviously, what an experience. My mind would be elsewhere. But was there anyone on the game that impressed you? You know, the fact we won 4-0, you know, we beat a team that, I mean, we'd already won, you know, they were fighting for relegation. And, you know, you would think maybe our foot comes off the gas and they maybe get a result. But, you know, Bielsa doesn't allow that. But was there anyone in the squad or, you know, the game that you've seen that you thought decent player or?
Yeah. No, and I tell you why. Because first of all, as you said, I was doing the video. And I was working, and then I was talking to the people I was with, and I was watching a lot of like Marcelo, what he was doing, like a lot of the time. So I was like watching at the bench to see what was going on there. And then again, video that took a lot of time, just going around and trying not to bother anyone. And then I think I was thinking about that too while I was watching the game. But then I said, you know, the whole team is here. Is the star. You know, there wasn't really. I mean, there were of course, but no people like dribbling all the time or with the ball all the time. So it's just passing, and just running around. And it was a perfect like puzzle, you know. I know that's an easy answer, but that's the truth, and that used to happen as well with my team. I just couldn't have an idol or a star in my team because they were all really good as a team. They wouldn't play as good as they were playing if they weren't in that team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I think one of the one thing we will say about you know, the Argentinian people, the Argentinian fans, one of our biggest viewers is from South America now, because of Bielsa. The amount of South American Argentinian people that we get watching our stuff and watching the channel is amazing, and it just shows just how passionate, you know, the Argentinian fans are. Because I'm not sure if Bielsa moves and say he goes to, I don't know, let's say he goes to Spain and manages someone else, I'm not sure I would think now I'm going to watch that team just because Bielsa's there. For me, it just Leeds.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I would say that if an English manager goes to South America, you would watch the games of that team. I would say, because he's from your country. I mean, depending on which manager, of course.
Yeah.
Bielsa is kind of a special one. But yeah, I think the fact that you are from the same country, or I'm from the same country as him, that means a lot. Of course, definitely, it makes you proud. You know, you can't deny it. It's the truth. Yeah.
Cool. Let's go on, Oscar. I was thinking we'll get some questions, but what were you going to say, mate?
Very interesting one, to be fair. We've spoken a little bit about Argentina. Obviously, a lot of Argentinians joined us today on the chat. I mean, obviously, one for Nacho. Can Argentina win the World Cup in Qatar with Messi final swan song?
I would say yes. Depends. I mean, during the last. Was it 2020? So the last 2 years or so, we've been kind of improving with new young players, new manager, and everything. And apparently, he's going to stay till the World Cup 2022. So depends on how these years go. I would say yes, because I mean, I know Messi's motivated all the time. This is going to be his last World Cup, I would say. So I think he's going to be more motivated than ever. And I'm really confident on these guys now, the new guys and the new manager and the new team like of assistant managers that's been built around him. They are really good ex-players. I don't know if you know Aymar or Samuel or those players. They were really good, and they have really the same idea as Bielsa of football, you know, how to play. So, and they are working now with the youth divisions. So I would say we'll see the results in the next 2-3 years, or maybe for the other World Cup, I think it's USA, Mexico, and Canada. So I mean, I would say yes, of course, because I want to, and it's a possibility always with Messi in your team, but it depends a lot of the next couple of months or the next year how we develop.
Do you agree with this statement from I believe it's an Argentinian as well? I've seen the comments earlier. Do you agree with that, or is it too much all about Messi and not enough team?
No. Again, the 2002 with Bielsa, the main star of the team was Bielsa. I mean, he wasn't playing, of course, but he was all the lights and the cameras were on him. With Argentina now, with Messi, all the cameras are on Messi. So everything that happens, good or bad, it's on Messi. It's his fault or it's thanks to him. So I think he's of course an amazing player, and the manager is capable enough to know that he should be in the team and he should play. If he decides he can't play or he shouldn't play, fine, fair enough. He's the expert, not me. But I think of course, we want him in the team, and he's capable of just winning a game on his own. So you always need that on a World Cup. Maybe bad luck. I know he has a bad month and he can't play really well. It is what it is. He's a human. But I'm not an anti-Messi or a Messi enemy or whatever. I'm just like good players, and that's it.
What about his goal last night, Oscar?
Yeah, two of them, I would say.
Yeah.
It wasn't a handball, the other one, but yeah.
Yeah.
And
the guy's not
really
human.
Well now, yeah. And now Barcelona is not really in a good time, but still he's there doing what he knows. So yeah, we want him in the team. I want him in the team. So yeah.
I would like to see him in England one time. I don't think it'll ever happen. I don't think it will ever happen.
Well, maybe you mean for the national team, or?
No, just for him to move from Barca.
That won't happen, of course. Yeah, they were talking about Man City a couple of months ago, but who knows?
I would love to see him.
Leeds, maybe.
Man, I'm just conscious of putting up Argentinian questions because I don't know what the translation is. I'm worried I'll pull something up and be like...
You can just show it to me and I will translate. Oh, okay, I know what you mean now. Yeah.
I mean, Nacho, how long would you pinpoint to how long you've been following Bielsa? I mean, would you be able to go back to his Bilbao days, his Chile days? I mean, how far back would you go to when you really started to notice how great Bielsa was?
Yeah, I started to watch football when I was 8, 9, 10, I would say. And I started to be conscious about football around 15 or 16. I mean, when I mean conscious, I mean that's not only a ball and 22 guys. It's more than that. So I would say that from that point in which I knew that football, I think it was when I started to play football with friends more than ever, because we would play once a day, like every single day we'd play football, and I would play with my friends, and we could win, we could lose, but we were together. After the game, we would go and have a barbecue, a couple of beers, and we would always try to have this kind of football, this attacking style. And I think that when Bielsa talks in the first conferences, he's talking about his team, of course, but I can say, okay, he's also talking about me and my friends, because we go there, we enjoy football. It doesn't matter whether we win or lose, and it's a show, and we enjoy. That's the most important thing. And we try to do fair play all the time as well with my friends. So I say, okay, he's talking about football in a way that he's not only talking about professional football. So at that moment, I became not only a Bielsa fan, but a Bielsa fan among other coaches.
Yeah.
Are there any managers out there at the moment who you look at and say they are the next Bielsa to an extent? I mean, here you've got River Plate. Gabriel Hines has been mentioned a bit at SARS.
He's doing really well at Vélez, another team Bielsa used to manage. But yeah, he's doing really, really well, and he was coached by Bielsa as well, so he has his influence. But yeah, that could be it. Also, River Plate manager Marcelo Gallardo. I don't know if you know him. He used to play in France for a couple of years. He's doing really well, really, really well as well. He's been in our team for 5 or 6 years. I think in the next couple of years he'll go to Europe somewhere. But I would say those two, if we are talking about Argentinian managers, of course.
What about Pochettino? Obviously, still without a job. You know,
well, he was coached by Bielsa. I really like the way Spurs used to play. Really liked it, but unfortunately, he just made it to the final and lost. And now people don't hate him, but the same again. I had one of my colleagues. He's a Spurs fan, and he said, "I'm fed up with him." I said, "Man, I mean, you go to the Champions League final after, I mean, for the first time in history, and you playing really nice football. Yeah, you had one bad season. I mean, two bad seasons, but that's it, you know. But yeah, I don't know what he's gonna do next. I don't know. I don't see him really capable of doing it again, to be honest."
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay. I mean, Tottenham fans now with Mourinho, the football's. Yeah, I would rather not bring back Poch. I would be saying maybe he's waiting until Bielsa moves on and then he can come and manage Leeds. Maybe that would
be... maybe yeah. It's gonna be a challenge for him, but yeah. I mean, after Bielsa.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know what we'll do after Bielsa. It's gonna be rock.
There's always life after Bielsa. Don't worry.
I don't know what you're talking about. We're going to win the Premier League 20 years in a row. We're going to win everything ever, and then when he can stop when I retire in about 30 years' time. That's
cool.
Well, Bielsa said you don't have to get used to winning because that's bad as well. So. He said
we're still not used to it now. No, like I said,
if you win the Premier League for 20 years, then you will, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just it's nailed on. It's nailed on.
Well, I guess, guys. I mean, is there anything else you may want to ask Nacho before we let him go?
No. Go on, Danny. I thought you said yeah. No, sorry. No. Just thank you so much, Nacho, for coming on. Obviously, I know you're very busy, and please check out Nacho's YouTube channel. I know a few people in the comments already have. They've been over and checked the video. The video is amazing. The emotion, you can just see it. Like you get football, you get the emotion of the Leeds fans at that specific time, and it's. In my opinion, it's a masterpiece. It's that good. I really enjoyed it. And I know Jack and Tash, who also worked on the channel, Tash got emotional watching it. It's really great. And it's nice to have you come on knowing that you've met Bielsa, man. This is the closest we will get to meeting Bielsa.
Okay, thank you for that. I'm sorry that it's in Spanish there, but it has subtitles, so it's not the same, but still, you understand what I'm saying, yeah. But yeah, thank you.
And good luck for River Plate, mate. Good luck.
Okay, hopefully we'll meet Leeds in the clubs World Cup in 1 or 2 years.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
never know.
Hopefully one day you can get to a Leeds match and you'll be able to hear the Leeds fans giving it to Brighton.
I'm not sure about this year, but maybe next year because of the virus.
But
yeah, I definitely want to. Yeah, that's one of my.
If you do,
that's in the list.
Yeah, give us a shout, Nacho, and we can meet up with you. And
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. I will definitely. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. I really appreciate all the work you're doing in the channel and everything. Just keep on doing it because, as I always said, and as I said in the video, this football just gives you this opportunity of doing whatever you like, enjoying it, and getting together with friends and fans from all over the world. So thank you, guys.
Cheers, Nacho. Thank you very much.
I guess we'll leave it there, guys.
Yeah, perfect ending.
See you later, guys.
Bye.